everyone, guys. So, a lot of people have questioned me on how to apply to law schools in the US. What is the process? Is it very tedious? Is it very rigorous and hectic? Some of them have also come to me and said that the process is really intimidating and that they would not be able to apply because the information is really not available online on how to, access LSAC, or is there any other way around. So today, to just simplify the process, because I've been through the same situation, there was nothing and nobody to explain the actual process of applying to the US universities. I'm here to the rescue, you guys. So today I'll just be explaining the general process of applying to law schools in the US, and that do we need to really apply through LSAC, and actually what is LSAC. So LSAC stands for Law Schools Admission Council. It is a not-for-profit organization that's main objective is to make the law school's admission process more accessible and easy. Whereas LSAT, it is law school's admission test. And for LLM, if you're applying for an LLM degree, you would not need to take LSAT exams, you guys. But if you're applying for JD in the US, you need to take the LSAT test. But if you're applying to LLM, you do not need to take the LSAT test, LSAT test. So LSAT and LSAC are completely different forms. LSAC is an application portal, whereas LSAT is a form of exam that you need to take if you're applying for JD or if you're applying for any other courses except LLM to study in the US. So let's start with what is Law Schools Admission Council. Law Schools Admission Council's homepage, or the first page, looks somewhat like this. Currently, as of January 2021. So as you can see, this is the main page. What does really Law School Admission Council do is it accumulates all the documents that you need to apply to the US university. It'll give you a window. It's like just a one window system where you put all your documents to one portal, and then they send it to the universities that you would want to apply in the US. So they're trying their best to make your work easy, because if you just send it to one portal, they will send it to thousands of universities if you're applying in the US. So that's the main crux of Law School's Admission Council. As you can see, this is the home page. First of all, it's as basic. You need to log in. You need to create your own login ID and password. So this is the login as button. And what do you log in as? You will log in as LLM and other law programs account. And when you create your account, you'll be brought into a complete new home page. We'll explain about the home page in the coming time. So there's another option too, like you would get a page like this, and then the page would show an LLM degree program. You need to click on it and you need to log in yourself. So this would be the starting step of applying through LSAC. It's as common as any other portal, you guys. You need to have your own login ID and password. You need to enter your email address. You need to have all the documents. You need to have all the information accessed, and then you can create your page. So this would be the first home service. So this is my home page. As you can see, this is my account. I am logged in. This was my login ID, my login name, and then these would be my home page. So we'll be studying about obviously this home page, the services that LSAC provides. The services would also include EAPS and DAS, as you can see onto your extreme right. We'd be explaining what these services are, and we'll also be studying about the credentials, like what are the papers that you would need, what is the document that you would need, what are the other documents or criteria that you need to fulfill in order to apply LSAC. And the fourth, we'd be learning about how to apply to law schools or law universities. So basically, this is my homepage, you guys. This is my account activity. So a little information. My homepage looks kind of full because I applied to Northwestern University back in 2018 December, and I studied through the year of 2019, and I am a graduate of 2020 from Northwestern University. So I applied through LSAC. There was, as I already said, there was a lot of hit and trial method. I got into Northwestern University, Illinois, Chicago. I studied there my LLM degree, and I have come back to my home country, and that is the reason why my account activity looks all full. I have already sent my transcript. I have already bought the credential assembly services. My letter of recommendations are already received by LSAC, and my English standard tests are also received by LSAC, and some of the reports are already sent to the law schools. So this would be my home page for LSAC. So now what you're going to study is, like I've already mentioned, we are going to study about the services. That's number 2. So what are the services that LSAC provides? So LSAC provides a service called Credential Assembly Service. Within this, they have 3 services that we'll be studying. The first service will be Electronic Application Processing Service. So you're using one single portal. The portal helps you get to a lot of universities through a single accessible source. There's just one portal. So the LSAC will take this service fee under Electronic Application Processing Service. You submit your documents, electronic applications to law schools, and they'll charge you for the services. The other service would be Document Assembly Service, which is DAS. Now so you need to understand that you're going to send a lot of documents to LSAC, such as the letter of recommendations, your transcripts, your English proficiency test results. So that would be assessed, that would be accumulated by LSAC and would be sent to the university that you're going to apply. So that would also require some sort of charge, and LSAC would take a minimum charge for the services that they are providing. As you can see, I have rightly purchased these 2 documents, these 2 services, which is the Electronic Application Processing Service and the Document Assembly Service. But I've not purchased the last portion, that is ITAES. We'll know what this really stands for in a bit, you guys. So if you see, the fee is $35 for Electronic Application Processing Service, and the fee is $50 for Document Assembly Service. So I bought this. I went to Nabil Bank and then paid my charge, or you can go to any other banks that has MasterCard payment service. You can use your own Master Visa card if you have one, and you can pay the charge. And then the third service that LSAC provides is International Transcript Authentication and Evaluation Service, which is also called ITAES, which will cost you around $135. So what is International Transcript Authentication and Evaluation Service? It is basically a service that LSAC will charge you if your university wants to authenticate and evaluate your transcript. So some of the universities ask for it, some of the universities don't ask for it. My university did not ask to authenticate and evaluate my transcript, so I did not pay for it clearly. So that would cost you $135, as I've already mentioned. So I used only 2 services out of the 3. That one is Electronic Application Processing Service, that would cost you $35, and Document Assembly Service, that would cost you $50. I did not use the International Transcript Authentication and Evaluation Service just because my university did not say so. Some of the universities, they personally ask you to use this service because they want to check and evaluate your transcript. So you can ask your university what are their preferences or criteria if they have one. So this would be our basic understanding of what are the services that LSAC provides. So now we are going to number 3, that is credentials. So what are credentials? Credentials are basic documents that LSAC requires for you to apply to law schools. So these documents include your transcript, your letters of recommendation, your English proficiency test. So we'll be going through in the order of, first we'll know what we need to include in transcripts, then English proficiency test, and letters of recommendation. So about transcript, so the assessing the transcript also comes under the services that LSAC provides. You can know the information about transcript, misconduct or irregularities, the eligibility chart within this particular frame that I've already noted down in red. You can just look into these documents and it'll be much more clearer. But as you can see, my status is I've already processed the transcript because I had already applied, studied, and I've come back. So what happens really in transcript is you need to fill up a form. The first process is filling up this form, like do you have a first degree in law institution. When you're applying to an LLM, it is pretty clear that you would have a first degree in law institution. So I filled up a form, and the form would generate this particular web page. So as you can see, I have a field of study. I already had a date attended, the date ended, the name of the certificate, date awarded, the transcript processed, and then I need to click on the transcript request form. So this is really essential, you guys. Most of the people don't understand this process and think this process to be really tedious and full of hassle, but actually it is not. The first basic step is first pursuing the services that LSAC provides, and the second basic step is applying your credentials, like is submitting your document to LSAC. So you can do it by first filling this particular form, which is do you have a first degree in law institution, and then you can click the transcript request form. And when you click transcript request form, you would get something like this. So this form is basically a PDF that would open in another web tab, and then you can, as you can rightly read here, you need to send this to each higher education institution. So I sent it to the university where I studied my bachelor's degree. So this is not the law school, but the university. So if I studied in Purvanchal University, I would need to send this document to Purvanchal University and not to my law school. So these document needs to be authenticated by the university itself. And you need to attach this particular request form with your transcript, your character certificate if you have one, your graduation certificate, your mark sheets, or anything that is particularly related to your academic records. And this needs to be done in original language and should also include the name of the degree. And then you need to also attach an English translation to it if your document is not there in English language. So this particular form needs to be attached with an academic record, and the record needs to be sealed in a form, in a envelope with school stamp or school seal across the flap. So what did I do was I took all my documents, academic records. I first of all notarized it, and after notarization I sent it to the university. The university then received my certificates along with this transcript request form, and then the university filled these information to send it to the LSAC address. So you need to have this filled up by the university's authority, the institution contact person, institution mailing address, phone number, fax number, and email address. So why is this essential? They're just trying to evaluate and authenticate that your transcripts are real, and the university can really authorize that you are a student of this university. So the person responsible in your university needs to write his or her name, mailing address, phone number, fax number, and email address. And the entire document along with your credentials and this particular PDF form needs to be sent in an envelope that is sealed or that has its university's name across the flap, and that needs to be sent to this particular address. So you need to either DHL it, FedEx it, or through any other resource, but you need to physically send these documents to this particular address, and this particular address is there in transcript request form. So it's this that's most essential part. Now this would be your authentic beginning of applying through law schools, especially if you're from outside of United States. This is a very necessary criteria, as you would be using international delivery mechanism. So yeah, this would be your first step. You need to send your document, academic credentials, along with this transcript request form. Your documents needs to be notarized, and this particular form needs to be signed, and the university's official's name needs to be written here. The university needs to put all the documents in an envelope, needs to seal it, and then the documents are to be sent in this particular address. So that would be step 1 of sending your transcript under credentials. Now the second step is applying to English proficiency. So after you've completed TOEFL or IELTS, so a lot of you guys ask me if one should take the TOEFL test or IELTS test for applying to the US. Usually the practice is that if you're applying to United States, TOEFL is much more appreciated and is well taken by the university. However, if you've already given your IELTS test, you can ask your university, and probably there is no restriction in applying through IELTS too. So you go to the English proficiency page, and then there's this button that says add test, and you can add your results. Like you can clearly see I've added mine, and then but then adding it online is not enough. After your results are out, the ETS needs to send your results through the Lsac institution code. So what did I do was, after my results were out, I went to a bank that uses ETS service, that uses MasterCard, and then I asked them to send my English proficiency test score result to a particular institution code. And the institution code of Lsac is 8395, you guys. They need to receive it. So that's my status. They've already received my score test. So after this is done, we can clearly come to the third most important part of credentials, which is letter of recommendation. Like you can clearly see, what is letter of recommendation? Letter of recommendation is when your referee or your recommender, they send a letter writing about your credentials, that you have the ability to be a part of the university, be a part of the course that you're interested to take. So this is the main page of letter of recommendation. You can assign recommendations to specific law schools. So you can really assign, what does letter of recommendation, this page do is, you can compile all your letter of recommendation and name it. Lsac does that for you. They have L1, L2, L3, L4, L5 for an example, for 5 recommendation letters. And then for particular A university, you can just assign L1 and L6. And for particular B university, for example, you can assign L1, L2, L3, 3 letter of recommendation. So that's the process. I'll show in the coming pages to you guys. So do not delay the submission of your applications while waiting for your letters to be completed. If your recommenders take late or to upload your letter of recommendations, there is no harm. You can just carry on this process. Letter of recommendation needs to be done pretty simultaneously, but I also request you to please follow up on your recommenders, your referees, and just ask them to, create an account and upload it. Yes, they need to create an account, you guys, and they need to upload your letter of recommendation for you through their individual ID in Lsac. So I'll get to it in a moment. So there's this button here which says add recommender. And when you add a recommender, you can clearly see I've hidden it, but then you can receive the the when they send the recommendation letter, you will have your status changed. Like you can see, your status will change because the LSAC mentions that they have received the letter of recommendation. So how do you add a recommender? So this is the page of adding your recommender. You can clearly see. So in the portion of adding an email address about the recommender, so what LSAC does is LSAC sends an email to the person that you're adding as a recommender. So the person receives an email from LSAC asking you to send a letter of recommendation on your behalf. So you need to be very careful while you include the recommender or referee's name, his or her email address. The email address needs to be correct, because you will not be uploading your letter of recommendation, you guys. Your referee would be doing that for you. So that's really taken seriously in LSAC or in any law school university in the US. So this would be your recommender adding form, and then the recommender is directed in an email to this homepage. As you can clearly see, this is a login portal for LSAC applicant references. So for any LSAC applicant referees, they need to create another account as per the instruction given in their email IDs, and they need to log in and they need to quickly upload their letter of recommendations about you in this portal, and then you would be notified saying that you have received, your referee has sent the letter of recommendations for you. So it's this. And then after the letter of recommendation is arrived, you can literally assign letter of recommendation to a particular university. Like you can see, I applied to Northwestern Pritzker School of Law, and then I assigned my two letter of recommendations, that is L1 and L2. And then the university receives this letter of recommendations as per my assigning process. So then we're here on the main application portal. This, fourthly, we have come to actual applying of law schools, you guys. So as you can see, I'm not repeating it again. We've gone through my home services, we've gone through the 2 services that I bought and the 3 services that LSAC provides. We've understood how to adopt, how to upload credential papers in LSAC, and how to physically send them to LSAC address. And the 4th process is actually applying to law schools. That's the most important one, you guys. So we'll be understanding how to school search, how to go through my school list, how to enhance the application process, what about my active applications, and what are at last the LSAC completed applications. So we're going to the apply portal. So first of all, as we have already mentioned, our first step is to school search. So there are 2 processes through which you can search about your school. One would be searching alphabetically, and the second would be location wise. So let us search our university alphabetically. So as you can see, my school list is quite long. And then if I search my school alphabetically, for an instance, I want to know more about Boston University School of Law, I will add it. And then where will this go? This would go to my school list. My school list. These both are the same thing, you guys. So I go to my schools list, and then there I will clearly see the list that I've added in my schools list. This can be as many as you want to, as many you want to understand or know about the law schools university. So as you can see, I have Boston College Law School, Boston University School of Law that I added recently in front of you guys. So that's the process, you guys. First of all, you need to look at your school search. You need to go to my school list to just see the universities that you've ticked onto added just to get information about it. And then you can really see, like, this is my university, so I'll just click on this university just for the basic information. And like here we can see when did I really add this university. So I added this university back on 2018 26 July, you guys. That was pretty back ago. Wow. So yeah, so I added this university, and if I will click on to the application information, you will get into a very interesting page. The interesting page is about what are the courses that Northwestern University provides. So this would be 4 courses that Northwestern provides: Executive LLM, General LLM, LLM IHR, and Tax LLM applications. So I applied to LLM International Human Rights Law. So if I click on to continue applications, or just apply, I would be directed to this particular web page. Now this particular web page is the most important web page in your entire application process, you guys. You have to complete this page. You have to complete this portal, this portion, and this portion, and then you need to continue it and you need to send it. So that's the process, you guys. So what did I really do? Firstly, I bought these 2 pages, these 2 services that Lsac provides, and then I asked if I really needed the international transcript authentication and evaluation service fee, and they said that I did not need it, so I did not buy it. And then this would be step 1 for the application process. Now if I click onto this portal, I would have a number of questions, as you can see. So this gives you all the application details, like the deadline, the term, the name of your application details, and the instructions, the questions that they ask you. So once you click instructions, they would give you a lengthy instruction details about everything that you need to include. It is quite interesting, and they have everything that's completed that you need. So yeah, so this is the instructions that I need to apply, and then I need to fill up this form up to 18, you guys. I need to add the program applied, biographical, contact information, demographics, if I was a part of US military service, if my family is a part of US military service, about my education, about the TOEFL or IELTS test I took, about my employment, about letter of recommendation, about my career interests and goals, my financial data, admission interview, if I am able to give an interview, alumni relatives, if I have one, other schools and programs, if I have been enrolled into, about the bar admissions, my character and fitness, and my certification. And Northwestern University's most important part is essay question, you guys. They don't really take a statement of purpose or personal statement as a criteria. They have their own questions. I was given 2 questions to write an essay on, and then I had written an essay on and uploaded it. And obviously there is resume, there is character and fitness. So after you finish this, then you are directed to your active applications page, and then you can readily submit your document. So what is the process? After you've completed this page, you are directed to back to active applications page, and then you have to preview your application. As you can see, you have to preview it through a PDF, and once you preview it, once they say that you don't need to pay the international transcript authentication and evaluation service fee, you can continue it and you can submit it. So I had also asked for an application waiver to the university. You can do so by personally messaging and emailing them. I did so, and I did receive a waiver for the application fee. Some of the universities also write that they have waived your application fee in your school list itself. So they have it somewhere within the information about a particular school, and then, for example, like they would have it somewhere here, or you can email this particular university and then you can ask for a fee waiver for your application fee. So after you do that, you complete your active applications, you complete your all the requirements and criteria, and you submit it. You guys, that's the final process. It looks surely intimidating, but I want to be clear that it's very beautiful as a result. The kind of hard work that you put onto it will really bring you a good experience in your life. So finally, what does the law school really receive? The law school will receive your application form, as I had rightly pointed out, all the information that you fill onto your application portal, all the question answers that you give here, all the attachments that you put here will be received by the law school. Then they will also receive the documents that you've sent it through Lsac. As you can clearly see, the documents such as the service charge, your transcripts, your original transcripts, your letter of recommendation, your English proficiency test. So they'll receive everything, you guys. And then you will receive a result or a conversation communication through your email ID. I did not receive any messages in my Lsac portal. I just got my message about my applications through my email. So it surely does look a little tiring and tedious, but the result that you'll get through it is beautiful. As you can see, we have already studied about my homepage, about the services that Lsac provides, that is about these two particular documents I bought, and the other document that my university did not tell me to buy, so I did not buy it, about the credentials, about applying your transcripts, about sending your physical notarized photocopied transcripts, about uploading letter of recommendations, about uploading and sending English proficiency test, and about applying to law schools through this portal. I really hope I was able to inform you guys about the process of applying through Lsac. A lot of people come and ask me if Lsac is the only way out to apply to universities in the US. Well, it is not. Different universities also take applications through emails. Like, you can talk to them personally and ask them if they have the provisions of taking your documents through emails, and when you send your physical document through mails, like through DHL or any other international service portal as such. So that would be it, you guys. If you have any other questions, if you have any other queries, if you would like me to give another video about what is a personal statement, motivation letter, what should a letter of your interest look like, you can write in the message box, you guys. You can also hit a thumbs up. You can subscribe to this channel. We'll be bringing you a lot more new information that's readily is not available online. We would be happy to be at your service. If you have anything, if there is any questions, queries, please message us. Please write it in the comment section and we'll be happy to help. Till then, happy applying, happy understanding the different processes. I understand it that it's really intimidating at times, but I again cannot stress enough the beautiful experience that you'll get after really getting an experience of studying in the United States of America, especially in law. You guys, I can speak for myself. It was a beautiful experience. Yeah, just write it in the comment section if you want to know more about my experience, about any other information that you would like to hear. Thank you so much for listening. Happy applying.